Alright, so up next, in the continuation of the server project, we will now continue where we left off. The first thing I'm going to do before I reattempt the test is I'm going to remove the hard drive this time and change the password ahead of time. Even though I'm pretty sure I remember it, as you recall in the earlier aspect of the video, we did fail to log into Windows, which in term effect made it unable to check the temperatures. So we had to kind of power the computer down mid-flight, pull the hard drive out, ice cubes melted a little bit more, and this kind of messed up the project's timing. All right, we ended at 4 minutes and 45 seconds, I believe, with about an extra 5 minutes in changing the password time, only to get to the eventual realization that there was actually a leak on the board due to water and liquid being all around the power area, poured down across the board and going down. But due to the protections, although the leak was a failure, the protection of the water landing on motherboards or power connections was a complete success. So with failure comes success. In the next segment of the particular project, we're gonna reattempt the same earlier project. We're gonna go at it again, put new blocks in, and let them flow. We're gonna try to power it up. Right after I change this password, we'll get to that segment. I'm gonna retrieve the ice cells as well. So, coming up next. In this step in the video, I've prepared the ice cells. Alright, I went ahead and made them particular colors with a little mixture of my own to try to see if I could increase the length of time the ice will stay frozen. And also to display the functionality of the tube so you'll be able to see the colors run from the tubes. Alright, you know, in the spirit of New Year's, I figure a little color won't hurt nobody. How's that? RGB ice cooler. Free, no power. So pretty much we're gonna just cut them out of this chamber. Alright, now the way I was doing is pretty much the same as I did the other ones. Just cut it out and then separate it. Alright, and once you cut it, you can just like slide it out. And then that's just one chamber. Alright, drop it in its place. Chamber 2. Get him out, same way. Cooling cell 2. Now, we fire up the computer and start the timer. The timer doesn't start until the PC shows a picture. Starting timer. So far leak free. Okay. Go with our remodified password. And this time we in. Straight to HW info for temperature monitoring. I hate when that, cause the VGA cable, you know, it's an old monitor, so. All right, so currently it's definitely even with the cubes just sitting in their water right now, they haven't even made connection yet, and temperatures are, well, the highest temperature so far is 42. All right, bear in mind now, these AMD processors and server processors that normally run idles around 65 degrees Celsius. Right now, 40s, and that's at 4 minutes and 18 seconds. And temperatures are still decreasing. Let me make it so y'all can see what's happening with the temps. Okay. Let's make some adjustments on the setup. All right. So, and I believe it's it's working for sure. Oh man, this is too good. All right, now this is what I want to experiment with as far as the contact go, because once they get enough code on it, we should get even lower. Remember, everything max overclock right now too. All right, so but this is the best way to run the test. And basically, we're gonna let them melt. The point of the timer is to see how long this method works. How long does it do? Well, can you run this before you need new ice blocks, or before temperatures start to go up on you, or what? You know. So, all right, we starting to get some water flow soon. So pretty soon the connection will be at its greatest point. All right. And once they start to shrink, they'll make more contact with the processor. This design was only to test the functionality. All right, we already know the results that can be achieved. So this is the concept in motion. At the beginning of this process, bear in mind both processors was running at 72 and 76 degrees Celsius. All right, and we wanted to get rid of, definitely fix that up quick. So this was the method that was created at first just for that. But now I'm starting to realize it can have other applications. My focus today though ain't to try to make the temperatures. You know, I did the ice cubes sitting flat on the surface of the CPUs to get the 9 degrees Celsius, 19 degrees Celsius. This method is to see if the ice can keep running the computer continuously. Alright, so I just want y'all to understand what I'm trying to show here. And the price tag, not to mention, that I've spent throughout the project on this particular design was $50. So I took a server, made it silent cooled with ice for 50 bucks. And you see them temps, and if you know an AMD server, if you know your AMD server, you know running at those temps right now is ridiculous. Continuously like this, continuously. Silent, no power, no pumps, no nothing. Now that's going green. We got some blue starting to run out this tube over here. Well, I don't want to touch it. I want to do it by itself. I don't know if y'all can see that. You know what? Let me make that second video on my cell phone for that added effect so people could see that it's actually working with no pumps, no power, purely gravity, with a purely reusable object, and temperatures are still decreasing. We didn't hit low without touching it. Remember, right now the point is that ain't nothing to make the direct connection between the processor but water and ice. All right, there's no thermal paste, there's no cooling top, nothing. All right, so now let me get a good video of this part. In conjunction with the YouTube video that I'm shooting live here on Twitch, I'm just showing from another perspective how the setup look. All right, with all we got up here, so you can have some better view angles while I'm actually still running the test live. Alright, that's the timer. And I just want to show how the liquids have no pumps and they still can push out their liquid. That's why I colored my ice so that you can see the functionality of the liquids. Did I miss that one? Yeah, I missed it, but basically for now I'm running down into a bucket, letting gravity do its job. If I had the ice dispenser, radiator, whatever you wanted to hook up on these other ends of the pipe would be entirely up to you. But you really don't need anything. We at the 20-minute mark. There goes some functionality. There you go, down into the tube she goes. It would pour out if I had them spiraled in there right, but I didn't want the tube to empty. I wanted the liquid to remain for display purposes later. Alright. So that's the other view of it. So you can see how I had it set up. And okay. Except for this, it's been perfect. I just gotta patch that little hole when I find, okay, it's right here on that bottom. I don't want to stop the project right now. I want to run it. So let's hope I got it. It's patched and it was a small leak. And then I'll put another layer over that in a minute. It looked like it's working though, because there ain't no water coming out of it now. Yeah, it looked like it's working. Let's hope. Okay, so now that I got those extra little holes patched up a little bit more, I'm still streaming live. I patched them real quick live. It ain't a perfect patch, but it was good enough to show some more of the functionality. Um, on the timer, we have 30 minutes now, and we still got some cube left. Temperatures are still holding perfectly stable with no pressure on the ice, no weight, no pressure. Uh, we got red in the tunnel tubes now, as well as the blue, because you know the hole fixed, so now the liquid should fill as it was anticipated. Blue been perfect the whole time. So, and still on the single ice cube, we managed 31 minutes on the single so far. Purely on the singles with our new RGB ice cooling at temperatures these processors should never run at. Alright, right now these temperatures on these two particular processors is unbelievable to continuously run with no power usage, no water pumps, and our lowest temperature so far is 31 degrees. Our highest is 46. And still so far no other leaks. My patchwork seeming to be holding up. Okay. And I'm gonna leave that stuff in the video. I don't like taking out mistakes, you know. So other people, I don't like to make them, but you know, we all make them, you know. So in the end, that's definitely one of the things you're gonna want to do. Check, you know, check again for leaks. Now what I'm waiting for currently is the increase in temperature, meaning it goes above our lowest point. Okay, and the reason I'm waiting for this is because this wanted to signify that ice is no longer at a point to cool that processor, like the water should start to warm, and this will increase the temperatures on screen. So let's see how long that take to happen. Pretty cool, ain't it? That's the quietest cooling in the world. It's the most quietest, coolest, power efficient cooling on the planet. Check temps. Any increase yet? Nope, still good. And I ain't gonna put it in there. I'm waiting for, you know, higher temps before I recool that one. But the ice cube is now completely melted. It's pretty much just a liquid left in both chambers. Alright, just a little ice cube left. And we still haven't broke 50. Well, we have hit 50s, but they ain't running at 50. We got one now touching 50, and that's due to no ice being in the water at all. The temperature should start to rise now, but the question is how fast and how much. Okay, so now we starting to get some good increases on that first GPU, so the water's starting to actually warm up a little bit. But I don't want to stop the timer yet. I want to wait till we get a ridiculous, you know, a hotter temp that's like, oh my god, it's hot, you know. I got more ice on standby, so it ain't no big deal. I'm gonna push it to the limit so we can have an accurate time on how often a person will have to expect for either A, the ice dispenser to drop more ice, or B, you put in a new ice cell yourself. Simple as that. This computer is max overclock for the record again. That's something a lot of people ain't realizing. This is an old AMD server with 2 AMD processors maxed out, running at these temperatures off ice with no power and no pumps. Around 38 minutes, the temperatures did start to increase, but they still holding at reasonable operating temperatures. I don't expect that they would stay that way long, because that water's still warm up. But water can hold a particular amount of heat on its own. So let's see how hot it can get. It wouldn't be a test if I ain't let it run, you know. So I gotta run it through until it reach a panic kind of number. It ain't panic mode yet. No fans, no power. No, man, come on. That's true silent cooling. Alright, it ain't really no such thing as silent cooling until this. It don't make a sound. It don't make a single sound. It's still running cooler than when I had the actual coolers on top of it, so I still don't care, you know? Even at this point, it's way lower than it originally began, which I recorded that as well to show the improvement. I was thinking 15 minutes per cell would be the time you would get out of these cubes. That was my guess, but I was way off. That's 45 minutes off just one so far, and could still keep pushing it. All right, remember the normal op for these was 65, so 60 to 65 normal. 75 when it was Brent. When I got the server itself, they was running at 76, 75. And now we getting back up to original temps after about 45 minutes on one processor, on the one that's in use the most. I'm guessing the heaviest usage on that one because it's warming up the fastest. But it's still keeping 60, 69, you know, something like that. 70 now. Once it get up to about 75, 80, where it used to be, then I'll reapply more ice to that particular chamber. In the process, this is basically where the ice dispenser, will come into most use. But I can't buy that ice dispenser. Cause once I get up to the 80, I'll put in the next one. But right now, it ain't touching it to 80 yet. You know, this how I put them in the thing like this. All right, in the old water bottles, so they make these perfect cells. This buy you more time before you need to recool with another one, or before the ice dispenser would need to put ice. But I can tell you now, 48 minutes is more than enough time for an ice dispenser to be ready for the next load. No doubt about it. It take about 20 minutes actually, and that's what I needed to see. That the amount of time that it would take to generate the ice would be sufficient for the amount of time it would take to possibly overheat or temperatures to rise. But as you can see, we still haven't hit 80 degrees and we out of ice. This is just water right now, and just the water is managing and keeping at a lower operating temperature than it was originally performing at. I just saw the first flicker at 80 on the first GPU. So I'm gonna go ahead and put its new cell back, and you'll observe the water that goes out of the pipe. This was the design purpose for overflow in the first place, so that the issue of alright, you saw where it leaked them certain holes. That's the reasoning for the protection on the motherboard. Okay, so it ain't no panic. The computer won't be damaged. It'll be alright. Basically, I just popped off the patches that I put in before. That's what I just did. I should have calculated that part, doy. No, again, no big problem. That's why you take all the precautions and that waterproof protection that people thought was so dumb. That was the reason for it. Gotta plan ahead. I have to figure something out for that where it's leaking exactly. But it ain't hurting the progress of the project. I'm gonna let it move on and recool the second one. Cause whatever problems I'm gonna have will be the problem somebody else will have. It's part of the ongoing remedy thing. Oh, let me feel the other one too. Let's see if that one got any leaks in it. Be a little slower with the insertion this time though. Alright. And then that's more water for the waterproofing aspect of it. Again, these all things that will be resolved in the final design. Alright, so man, I'm glad I did this, the precaution part saving me right now from what would have been otherwise disaster. I know some people watching this like, hell no, it do work. It ain't no denying that. Alright, so remember, this ain't the final design. It's purely for demonstration. So that's why this stuff ain't really bothering me. They ain't like I'm gonna use this thing the way it is, you know, regular. It's just to show that it does work. It's a-okay, no problem. See me wiping up the water. I'm trying to get to the patchwork, but kind of messed that up. Did our temperatures decrease? Yep, going down, of course. Alright, so of course as the water get colder, it'll start to go down. If the waterproof thing was a question, I guess that's over with. Why did you put all that blue stuff? Answer given. That was kind of my fault. I did just stuff them in there. I never did it before though, you know, so I ain't really have a swap procedure, you know? And by not having a swap procedure, I just assumed I could just jam them in there and it wouldn't really matter. But I see now it would be better to make sure that they big enough to just let the ice block fall in instead of being held in place. I'm gonna need some molds and a real deal technician to help me design the chamber that I got in mind for it, the final design. But I know I'm gonna need some help with that one, so I'm gonna have to get some pro help to help me pretty it like I want it to be. Okay, the red, now that it filled the pipe up, I'm gonna turn the pipe and let the water come out. Alright, and that's just from putting the pipe straight in the bucket instead of leaving the red with the air effect in it. You know, instead of pointing it up. We had 1 hour and 14 minutes on the second cube, but that was with leaks. The leaks make it run hotter because the connection to the processor will be tampered due to the water leaking out at the bottom. And that's like the contact between the processor and the ice. So that kind of offset the result of the second test a slight bit, maybe a few minutes. Remember, we was running at 20s, in the 20s when it wasn't overclocked. But the real test was, could you turn it all up in the settings, turn it up as much as you can, and just let it, how long will it run? And so far, I'm convinced if I wanted it to be 24 hours, I could push to 24 hours. And I always check around the board for any like hot spots, you know, to make sure that the mixture that I'm using is converting that heat like I anticipated. And so far, it proved to be very true. Even the caps stay cool, so that's good. No hot spots at all. I mean, let's get creative. Let's drop a little blue in there too. Pretty cool looking, man. Pretty cool looking. And then from the outside, you could practically do whatever you want to the color system in this because unlike your normal AIO coolers or pipe coolers, you don't have to worry about what's in it. You don't have to use glycerol. You don't have to use mineral oil. You don't have to use, you know, there is no particular. You can use water. You can use sugar. You can use salt. You can use pepper, vinegar. Whatever you can cool, you can use. All right? This is universal cooling. All right? We taking this to the next level. We at 1 hour 25 minutes. Temperature starting to increase on the first processor as usual. That's expected. So you can, you know, but remember this system I'm using right now, I am cooling 2 processors, not 1, 2. So on a system that's 1, this would be a lot easier, okay? I just want to point that out so people who are intimidated by it, you can understand that I did choose the hardest method versus 2 of the toughest, hottest running processors at that. We're gonna keep the operation going the whole time. It's part of the system. Still in the 60s right now, so it still don't need to be treated. So even when the ice melt, even when the ice is completely gone, with the water having no circulation, remember this is what I anticipated before, using the single cubes of ice due to the water mass being less than the heat. By increasing the water mass, by, you know, making room for more water, this leaves more area for the transfer of heat from the processor to the liquid. This allows for longer times in between swaps. I'm gonna drop in another ice cell in the green and another ice cell in there because I got 2 left, and that'll pretty much conclude whenever they run out. That'll be the end of the timer. And these ones ain't full size, so they won't last nearly as long. Okay, here go one ice. Well, this one of the ice cells I'm gonna put in there. This a bigger ice block. These always have a better effect. You just gotta be careful about how you go about dropping. And it's the second ice cell. And that one went in without a drip. That one processor going out of 35s and 27s now. And that's what I was saying earlier about if the cube's skinnier and weigh and can make direct contact with the processors. I already know the temperatures get lower. My test today wasn't really in comparison to trying to lower the temps. What I was doing today was trying to see how long it can last per session. That's all. Alright, so them 35s, 20s, if it go down to 5 again, it wouldn't matter to me right now. And these are the last final 2 cubes, so let them do their thing, let them melt away, and then I stop the recording. So basically, as ridiculous as you're willing to get with the design of it, is the longer that thing will cool. Like if I would have made those towers pretty, like tall, I'd be able to put in bigger, heavier, longer ice cylinders, and this would in fact make the temperatures even crazier lower. Alright, the bigger and the heavier, the better off it'd be. But for this particular demonstration, I had to keep it limited to lock the idea in before I got idea jacked. Because now it ain't an idea, now it's reality. 2 hours is the perfect time to stop recording. I think that's more than enough proof of concept. More than enough. I'm gonna give me a little umbrella, make me a little Tahiti drink. Maybe put a little pineapple in there. Little pineapple, little liquor. Maybe a little liquor. We should put a little liquor in there. Oh, man, we could just keep pouring beer in there. Just keep chug, or you gonna short the computer. That's 2 hours achieved. With no issues, no problem, no shits, nothing. Except for my water issues, of course. Okay, so what? It's not perfect yet, but hey, it works perfectly. No doubt about it. It's the quietest server on the planet right now. No doubt. No doubt. No fans at all. No fans. Come on. That's major, man. 0 decibels. No pumps, no motors, nothing. So there's no added sound at all. And of course, the more ice I put, the colder I can make it. And the heavier and bigger the piece of ice is, even the lower the temps. This was just proof of concept. Proof of concept complete. Another presentation brought to you by your boy Skills. I hope y'all enjoyed the video up until now. As usual, more sweet inventions coming for low budget solutions that just about anybody can achieve. I'm gonna start bringing in more stuff, hoping you guys in the end can help in supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, click a like, a subscribe. You ain't gonna want to miss what's next. Until next time, catch you on the next one.